Hi everyone, it's Simon Keeling here at weatherweb.net and it's Saturday the 24th of October. Thanks again for watching. Well, Hurricane Patricia has hit Mexico now and has really faded away dramatically as she's gone inland. But just watch for what happens as the remnants of the hurricane get into the Gulf of Mexico and run along the south coast of Texas during Sunday and perhaps into the early part of Monday as well. You could well find that reform into a tropical storm or perhaps even a low category hurricane during the course of Sunday. Some more heavy rain to come. But more relevant to us is what's going on over the next few weeks, and of course the Japanese Met Agency has its latest prediction out for the next few weeks, and it makes some very interesting reading. First up though, back to Patricia. These are the remnants of Patricia now across Mexico. You can see it's a really disorganised area of cloud, but like I say, things are set to change. And as it crosses across Mexico, gets back into the Gulf during the course of tonight into the early part of Sunday, things start to become more interesting once again. This is the predicted pressure and rainfall for midday on Sunday. And you can see here the centre of Patricia just off the southeastern coast of Texas, and it runs along these coasts as well, getting into Louisiana and into Mississippi. Still strong winds on its northern edge, but it's going to be the rainfall, huge amount of rainfall, I think, that could bring some flooding into parts of Texas and into Louisiana. And of course, the storm's already surprised us once with the level of deepening that took place on Thursday, so you just can't rule out the possibility of that happening again. More on that though as it develops, and of course follow us at WeatherWeb. So you follow us at WXWeb on Twitter to get all the very latest information. That's at WXWeb. But on to the Japanese. I'm going to give you an update on the MJO tomorrow, which is doing some interesting things as well. But this is the Japanese model. Now remember, for those of you who perhaps haven't watched before, or those of you who have, the Japanese update their monthly forecast or their guidance every week, and it goes forward in week steps. So we get week 1, week 2, and then week 3 and 4 as a blend. And this is the chart of 500 millibar anomalies for week 1. So this takes us up to this coming Friday, which is the 30th of October. And the UK is just underneath here. And what this one is showing us is the general westerly flow across the Atlantic during the course of this week. Notice the high heights trying to hold on across southeastern areas, lower than normal heights towards the west of Iceland there, and the jet stream coming in across the Atlantic, bringing us an unsettled week of sorts. It's not your usual autumnal wind and rain though. It's certainly less than that. Most of it probably out towards the west. Week 2, which takes us from the 30th through until the 6th of November. Well, that one's very similar actually. Still got the jet stream across the Atlantic. We've got the ridge across the central and eastern parts of the states. Trough digs down, pushes cold air in here, strengthens that trough, and then comes back north with quite a ridge building there across Scandinavia. So we stay in the mainly westerly flow, but this ridge is kind of the battleground. It's what's trying to get going to block our westerlies coming in again. And there's some, well, there's some disagreement between the various models as to exactly what happens to this ridge. For example, CMWF wants to do this in 10 days' time. This is their chart for the 3rd of November, and they have the idea of the ridge in here. They've got the trough down here, they've got another cut-off trough down here across Iberia, and then the jet kind of going over the top like so. So they sort of pick up on the same sorts of ideas. They certainly don't see the idea of anything significant across Iberia. You can kind of see that numerical models are in the same sort of ballpark, but the big question is what happens to this ridge. Now the JMA wants it to just collapse away into weeks 3 and 4. So these are the charts taking us from the 6th of November through until the 20th of November. And you can see here that we've got a ridge again across northern Canada. We've got quite a cold plunge coming down through the States here. And then we get this trough across the Atlantic. Bit of a ridge across Scandinavia, troughing out again across central parts of Asia. But here is the remnants of that ridge, kind of cut off up towards the north. And generally what we might find is that sort of surface flow coming around that feature. So trying to pick up on a little bit of a more easterly flow to the north of Scotland. Now what that would do down here is put low pressure in here. It would bring up more southwesterly winds across the UK, keep us in more unsettled conditions, particularly Ireland, the southern half of the UK and into Wales. Perhaps northern Scotland may be a little bit drier and colder as well, with temperatures significantly falling out here, obviously, at this time of year. So it could be that what we lead into is a cooler, drier Scotland, perhaps eastern parts of England as well, the northeast of England, into that middle part of November. But elsewhere, generally temperatures near or just below normal with rather wet conditions. But there's still plenty to be watching. So lots to be keeping an eye on over the next few days. As I say, I'll show you an update of the MJO tomorrow, if nothing else supersedes it, and show you where that points to for the middle to latter stages of November. Okay, I'll leave you with that for now, but thanks again for watching. Whatever you're doing, keep the sun shining, and bye for now.